The dim fluorescent lights above the interrogation room cast an eerie glow on the walls. Detective Jameson leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed intently on the suspect across from him. Rachel Lee, a petite woman with piercing green eyes, seemed oblivious to the weight of her own gaze. "So, Ms. Lee," Jameson began, his voice measured and calm, "can you tell me where you were on the night of January 10th? He watched as she shifted uncomfortably in her seat, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her jacket. "I was at home watching TV," Rachel replied, her voice laced with a hint of hesitation. "I didn't leave my apartment until morning." Jameson's eyes narrowed. "Alone?" Rachel's gaze darted away and she cleared her throat before responding, "Yes, alone. I had some business to attend to." The detective's gut told him that Rachel was hiding something. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but the faint scent of deception lingered in the air. "What kind of business?" Jameson pressed, his tone firm but controlled. Rachel sighed and hesitated before answering, "Just personal stuff, detective." "Nothing to concern yourself with." Jameson's eyes locked onto hers once more. He sensed a flicker of fear behind her polished exterior. "I see," he said, his voice dripping with skepticism. "And can you account for any phone calls or messages received on that night?" Rachel's expression turned guarded. "I didn't receive any calls or messages." The detective made a mental note to dig deeper into Rachel's personal life. He sensed that there was more to her story, but the pieces refused to fall into place. "Let's move on," Jameson said, flipping through his notes. "Can you tell me about your relationship with the victim?" Rachel's eyes dropped, and she fidgeted in her seat once more. We were acquaintances. We worked together at a marketing firm." The detective sensed a lack of sincerity emanating from Rachel. He made a mental note to investigate her alibi further. "Can you describe your interactions with the victim on that night?" Jameson asked, his voice softening slightly. Rachel's gaze drifted up, and she seemed to collect herself before responding, We discussed some work-related matters. That's all." The detective sensed a hidden meaning behind Rachel's words. He couldn't quite grasp it yet, but he was determined to uncover the truth. "Is there anything else you'd like to add, Ms. Lee?" Jameson asked, his voice measured once more. Rachel hesitated before speaking, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think I might have seen something that night. Something that could help your investigation." Jameson's ears perked up at the revelation. He leaned forward in his chair, his eyes locked onto Rachel's. "What is it?" But just as she was about to speak, Rachel's phone rang, shrill and loud in the silence of the interrogation room. Rachel's face contorted in a mixture of fear and panic. She slapped her hand over the receiver and whispered, "I'll call you back later, detective." With that, she quickly rose from her seat and hurried out of the room, leaving Jameson with more questions than answers. The detective leaned back in his chair, his mind racing with possibilities. He knew he had to dig deeper into Rachel's life, uncovering every secret and deceitful trail that led to the truth. As he sat there lost in thought, Jameson couldn't help but wonder what secrets lay hidden behind Rachel's enigmatic smile. The detective's gut told him that the key to solving the case lay hidden beneath the surface of Rachel's carefully constructed facade. He was determined to uncover it, no matter how long it took. With a renewed sense of purpose, Jameson reached for his notebook and began to scribble down notes, piecing together the puzzle of Rachel Lee's secrets. He knew that time was running out, and he needed every shred of evidence he could find. The clock ticked away, each passing minute ticking closer to the truth. And as the hours ticked by, Jameson couldn't shake off the feeling that he was on the cusp of something big, something that would change everything he thought he knew about Rachel Lee and the case at hand. The game was afoot, and Jameson was hot on the trail. Would he uncover the truth behind Rachel's secrets? Only time would tell.